It has long been known that hexachlorocyclohexane is a man-made synthetic chemical. There are 8 existing isomeric forms, all attributed to technical grade HCH. This was a successful product during the 1940s to the 1960s agriculture and mosquito control. It was shortly after, in 1976, that the American government banned the technical grade HCH products because of their high persistence in the environment and the lingering toxicity traits to organisms' functionality. While the production and the application was banned in most developed countries, third world nations continued to use such products. This was seen to be cheaper than mainstream pesticides. The most stable, predominant, and potent isomer in the concoction of the technical grade HCH is Gamma-Hexachlorocyclohexane, or commonly referred as linden. This was the driving chemical used for commercial insecticides on fruits and vegetables. Hexachlorocyclohexane was originally discovered in 1825 but mass-produced by companies in northern central Spain, Netherlands, and other Europe countries from 1947 to 1952, while Americans ended production in 1976. Linden is the main product extracted from the technical HCH mixture, leaving behind large amounts of isomer waste. Originally applied on crops as means of killing insects used by farmers to control undesirables. It did not selectively target the pest, but instead was deemed dangerous to multiple organisms. Developing countries still use technical-grade hexachlorocyclohexane because of its high productivity and expansion of food production. Americans are still allowed to import linden, available in a prescription medicine for treatment of scabies and body lice in humans. The EPA stated that the substance, when used, will enter your body through your skin, stored for a short time in your body fat, but normally tends to leave the body relatively quickly through your urine or feces. The information available from the Legacy of Linden HCA's isomer production scholarly article, submitted by multiple pesticides forum conferences, have underlined the list of countries that contributed to the environmental worldwide contamination. HCHs are highly stable and persist in the environment. Their half-life is relatively large. Once contaminated areas will still have lingering residue. This was the result of a mass unregulated chemical production, management, storage, and disposal, all which led hazardous sites and contamination of soil. This was placed on the national priority list targeted for long-term federal cleanup activities. Gamma-hydrochlorocyclohexane has been enlisted in 189 of the current 1,662 sites. The application of algae, fungi, and bacteria can slowly convert the chemical into a less toxic substance. When exposed to the atmosphere, the white substances become highly volatile. It will remain in the air for long periods of time and travel great distance. There are 3 means to be exposed. Oral exposure through your diet. The crops were either produced in a contaminated site or through weathering and erosion has externally contaminated either plants, meat, or dairy products. The second is breathing in the aromatic particles. And the third is by applying pharmaceutical linden lotion, cream, or shampoo on your epidermal or skin. The toxicokinetics of gamma-hydrochlorocyclohexane produces oxidative stress and increases lipid metabolism. There is an abundance of studies done for either mice and rats for this chemical. As we could see, there is one that is oral exposure, which has led to liver tumors in both the mice, females, and males. And the second one is a dietary exposure to farm animals, such as a cow. And the way one is exposed is that technical grade A hydrochlorocyclohexane is a pesticide, and it residues and it stays in the area, and at some point the livestock will eat the grass. This has led to also tumors. Secondly, there is very limited studies for human and the link to carcinogen, but there is still a good amount of overall understanding, especially by the Department of Health and Human Services, has determined that HCH, or hydrochlorocyclohexane isomers, may very well be carcinogenic, and it does have reproductive probabilities of birth defect, which is also should be taken very serious. It also shows that people who regulatively work in the agricultural and distribute this pesticide have had organ failure, and it should be taken very much accredited. Lastly, I just wanted to give credit to our U.S. Department of Health and Humane Service. Pretty much, I didn't want to just copy and paste the data, but I felt like it was most organized and well read if I have just copied and pasted from the most important site. And here you can see the standards for the Department of Transportation, We could also see how it interacts with our air and water ambient, and there's guidelines to follow. Thank you very much. Lastly, I just wanted to show our reference pages. Each website was very important to in combination. I think this chemical, either it's not well relatively spoken, but there is very much scientific writing, and I appreciate having the ability to discuss this chemical. Thank you very much.